You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young, and today we have with us well-known pet fashion designer Yvette Ruta. Her gorgeous creations are featured on runways around the world and on the backs of some of the pet world's biggest names. Stay tuned when we'll find out more about Yvette, how she got started, who she designs for, and more. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after a short pause.
Your dog loves going for a walk, but what do you do when the weather just won't cooperate? Your canine companion shouldn't have to come home cold, wet, and uncomfortable. Zippy Dynamics has created a chic, revolutionary, and functional suit that covers your best friend from head to toe. Our apparel is stylish and remarkably protective against all weather.
You and your dog deserve the best, and Zippy Dynamics is here to provide. Visit zippydynamics.com now and receive free shipping on all orders for a limited time. Zippy Dynamics, clothing of a different breed.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio, and I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young. We're talking today with pet fashion designer extraordinaire, Yvette Ruta. Hey, Yvette.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm so excited to have you on the show. I've been watching your work for a while now, and I literally marvel over how prolific and creative you are. From things like your signature pastel pieces with the ruffles and the rosette embellishments, which are gorgeous, to your rocker-styled black and white and sort of crystal-encrusted beautiful things, there's still a distinctive look to an Yvette Ruta piece. How would you describe that look?
Being an artist as well, I come up with ideas, and between my clients and myself, we will design different pieces. So if it's a piece of couture, I will get inspired, I'll look at their pet and we'll discuss what kind of event it is, and then I will look through different fabrics and trims and come up with ideas. And most of the time I'll work with my client doing that. Sometimes they prefer I just come up with something, and so it really depends where my inspiration comes from each individual client of mine.
So you, let's say, look at some pictures of a prospective client, and you sort of get a feeling based on their coloring, their size, maybe a little bit about their personality. You talk to their mom or dad, and you kind of, is that your process?
It really is. I will talk with either mommy or daddy. It depends on who's placing the order. And they will describe to me what type of event they're going to, or if it's a runway, or if it's a everyday event, or, if it's something special. We go through color, we go through fabric types, we go through measurements of the dog, and we just kind of I ask some basic questions, and then I just kind of take off from there.
And each piece is one of a kind because you're designing for a particular pet, right?
For the most part, it is. We do have a website that I have a few pieces of couture and then our furniture that we do duplicate some of those pieces, so they can go to the website and they can order if they want to get something that I've already done. Like we did the runway, the Yorkie runway show this summer, and we did a black and white collection. So a lot of people liked what they saw on the runway and just ordered, straight from either the website or myself, those type of pieces. And then somebody will call and say, oh, can we have that fabric, but can you do this a little different? So that's where we come in. We're a little bit more unique because we can take pretty much any fabric and any design that they see of mine, and we can alter it in any way that we need to create exactly what they want.
That's fantastic. I actually covered that show for Bark and Swagger and thought that the black and white theme that you did was very, very chic. And actually looking on the site, you've got a black and white floral carrier, the Madison carrier that I fell in love with. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you have been doing this for 30 years. I had no idea. How did you first get started?
I started designing when I took some art classes in high school. My family have all been craftsmen, seamstresses, so I kind of grew up with sewing machines and workshops, and so I've always, it's always been part of my life. And my mom did a lot of canvas art and paintings, and so we're a very artsy family. So by the time I was 19, I started, I'm very tall myself, so I'm 6 foot tall. So I came up with a couple ideas, and within the first, I want to say it was 12 or 18 months, I developed my own line, and I was in all the tall stores in the United States and being represented in New York and Chicago market.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
wow.
It just took off. And then I went on through my 20s to open up several of my own stores.
That is amazing, Yvette. I had no idea. Wow, wow, wow. And so what happened to those stores? Did you eventually kind of decide that, like, how did you segue into pets?
It was funny. When we started out, I did all the designing, and of course I went to markets, and then I had some people that wanted to open up some stores, so we started opening up, we opened up 2 in Chicago, and then 1 in Dallas, and of course I was very young, and I started to have my kids, and it was too much for me to actually run the store, run my manufacturing company, be the designer, and raise my family. So I took a little break for a while with my stores, and I stayed home and raised my kids, but still being an artist, I started another business.
You couldn't help yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, my husband, he did kitchen and bath remodeling for about 30 years, and he had his own cabinet shop and, showrooms in Dallas. So it was easy for us when I went into the pet furniture. We used to design kitchens and vanities and master baths. So when we did all that, it was an easy segue into pet furniture.
So that's where it started. It started with the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And, these beds are a major feature in themselves. Listeners, if you've never seen an Yvette Ruta dog bed, you're missing out. Everything from European hinges, Swarovski crystal hardware, lavender-scented drawers, even sachets for those drawers. I mean, you go all out. Tell us a little more about those beds and what you're trying to bring to the customer with your beds and furniture.
What we're trying to do is have something that's very unique. A lot of our clientele likes things that are one of a kind, or that they like working with the designer. So they will, right now we're working on our Swarovski line, and that line has all inlaid rhinestones and has over 20,000 crystals put on by hand. The sides are all cut out. It has chinchilla fur. It's gorgeous. And gosh, when we started that line, of course, it's months before we actually post, pictures to our website, but I think in June or July is when we posted our first image of that, and we sold out the first week of that particular bed. And then we keep on going with different ones now. We have a crown one we're working on. We have armoires and toy boxes, and really it's what the customer, when the client orders a piece and they'll say, well, can you make me, an armoire to go with this? Can you make a dresser? I have a client right now that owns boutiques that we're doing a desk in that collection. The top of the desk is in the shape of a bone. And the whole back wall is all product display cabinets that we're inlaying crystals, and each individual unit has over 10,000 crystals apiece, and there's 6 units. So It's going to be gorgeous. So yeah, we're always doing something a little bit different. Whatever the client, needs are, we try to meet those, and a lot of custom work.
Yeah, it sounds that way. Very, very special stuff. For these beds, you also have matching bedding. Tell us a little bit about those. Very luxurious.
Well, thank you. Our bedding, we have a field of organic lavender, and we grow a lot of our own lavender and use local farms to get it. So we wash all our fabrics in lavender. We do lavender sachets and infused pillows in all of our bedding. I try to find fabrics that are unique or a little bit different than typical stores that they can go to and find just, minky fabrics or fur fabrics. A lot of our furs, we buy in limited quantities because they're not not available and mass-produced.
And these are faux furs, yeah?
Yes.
Faux, we want to make that
yes,
clear.
We're animal-friendly.
Pet lovers, yes, exactly.
Yes, all of our faux furs. And then we also work with some of our woven fabrics, are hand-woven by local artists. I try to work with a lot of different local artists when we put things together and kind of support the whole community.
Tell us a little bit about which fabrics are put together by local artists, so maybe listeners can, keep an eye out for those in particular when they visit your site.
We have hand wovens that we do in throws. We also do those in pillows, and then we have accent rugs that are done in those. I've done some jackets before out of those for women's wear, done some children's clothing, and
we're going to
handbags.
talk all about that. I'm very excited to talk about that too. Yeah, you, as I was saying earlier, I don't know how you find enough hours in the day because of all the different things that you do. So yes, in addition to the clothing, the pet furniture, the bedding, you've got the carriers, the leashes, and recently you've moved into infant and grown-up apparel and accessories, which are also stunning. What is a typical Yvette Ruta day like?
I would say that this is my passion, and this is what we do. So we wake up in the morning, and I have a studio, so I have, seamstresses and sewers and people to help out, and I have a team of girls that will do cuttings for us, and, because a lot of the things are custom, they'll work with general things that are sold off the website in standard sizing, so I kind of delegate that to them. Anything that's custom, I usually have an eye over that, and then I have a girl I call my right-hand girl, that makes sure that everything is, I check it once and she checks it, and then it goes to our girls to either put together, or if it's a very special piece, a lot of times I'll do that myself. So it really just depends on my time in that day and what project we're working on. And then we have a cabinet shop. So like I had said before, we have access to all the guys. So when we get orders, I send them over to the shop. They cut everything. It typically takes us anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks to get furniture back. So sometimes just depending on how many orders go in that week and how long we're running. There are some collections. We do full furniture collections that sometimes take about 8 or 10 weeks to deliver, again, depending on the pieces that they order and what's involved.
So this has become like a family business.
It is.
That's great. That's great.
It is. We have a lot of family members working in our business.
Very nice. Very nice. Can you think of the most extravagant thing you've had to design for a customer?
Probably in the furniture, just because of how labor intensive it is with our new Swarovski line. Mm-hmm. That one usually takes about 4 weeks to make one of the beds. We can make several, we get the frames back painted and done, but it does take a team of us and, set up in the studio and each one has their own project they're working on. So that I would say is probably the most labor intensive and takes the longest, and it's one of my favorite pieces.
Wonderful. And we're going to have pictures up on the Bark and Swagger page of the Pet Life Radio site so listeners can see what we're talking about. We're going to take a short break right now, but when we come back, I have a special treat for you. I know this is a pet fashion show and all, but for the ladies listening, this one's for you. Yvette makes some gorgeous handbags, jewelry, and home goods for us. And she's going to tell us all about them and how we can buy too. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome! Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
Dyson. The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to DysonDeals.com. DysonDeals.com to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Hey there,
there, pet parents. This is Christy Vaughn, host of The Doggy Dish. Do you love your furry companion? Do you love making him or her healthy treats but can't seem to find the time? Great news. The Doggy Dish is the perfect show for you. Every episode is chock full of healthy and easy recipes that are made with ingredients you most likely have on hand. Tune into The Doggy Dish for yummy and healthy recipes for your canine kids.
Every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio, and I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young. We're here today with the very talented and prolific designer, Yvette Ruta. Welcome back, Yvette.
Hi.
Is that your little baby in the background?
It is.
Tell us about your little baby before we move on.
Oh, Palasha, she is a little Morkie, and she is 3 years old now, and she models a lot of my designs, some of them that are one of a kind, some of them that are going on runway, and she was my little inspiration for a lot of my pet couture.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I see her all over your site, yeah?
Actually, we have professional models that are on our site. She is pictured on a few of our pictures. She's pretty hyper. So she doesn't like to sit still and photograph. Yeah.
I get it.
So we tried it. We tried it for about 6 months, and it just didn't work out. So,
well, I have one who, for my designs, who doesn't like to wear clothes. So try getting her to model something. She looks like, you're putting her through torture. So we find professional models too. Well, ladies listening, this one is for you. I promised you a treat. I love accessories. Give me a gorgeous handbag, a stunning piece of jewelry. Doesn't have to cost a fortune either. It needs to just kind of speak to me, and I'm in heaven. You can make some very, very beautiful things for us women, and I know I speak for more than myself when I say we're interested and we're all ears. So tell us a little bit about your women's accessories and home goods, Yvette.
We do. I love to work with recycled fabrics as well. I have a lot of vintage fabrics being in the business so long. Some of my trims I've collected for the past 30 years and just specialty fabrics and just different things. When we have a big cutting of something, sometimes I'll have a yard or two of something left over. So I like to offer one-of-a-kind pieces that somebody doesn't have what the other person is wearing, or they're not going to, it's not mass-produced. They're not going to see somebody else with the same bag that they have or the same jacket that they have, or, whatever the piece may be.
Which we always love. We love to have something special.
Yeah, the denim, I love to do the recycled denim with our USA theme. Yeah. I have a lot of military. I have a lot of there's such a wide variety of people that, especially in the past couple of years, it seems that line has really picked up for us. We do from pet carriers to totes to handbags, and I've even done throws in recycled denim.
Beautiful. I mean, I love the funky, so your rock and roll tote really spoke to me. You've got a lot of great stuff going on there. Describe its inspiration and what you have, what it's made of, and what you have going on in the piece.
On that piece we did, I hand-painted it. I did years ago, I used to hand-paint a lot of silks and do swimsuit cover-ups, still do some of that. Not as much hand-painting on the fabric. There's so many fabrics that are available now that are so beautiful. Years ago, we couldn't find that, so I would take what I could find and create my own. So sometimes I mix pieces of things that I'll use denim, and then I'll paint, and then I'll use different trims that are vintage and some that are new, and just kind of put it all together.
I love it. It's so, so cool. It's got studs, as you said, the hand painting. It's got that great faux fur, some chains, it's just the whole total look. It's great. Also you're welcome. Also with your US mail bag with those fabulous feathers that come out of the top. That and the rock and roll tote, can they both also be used as pet carriers? Because I saw one of the little doggies in the United States mail one.
Yes, we sell those as carriers. Because I do custom, you can look at that and order it in a tote. You can order it in a handbag, or you can order it in a carrier. We've also taken jackets, denim jackets, and kind of, started from scratch, took them all apart and added our own things to them. And so you can order any of those pieces. If you're looking for something that's unusual or different, you can always contact us and we can make something specifically for you. We had some Army Navy clients that wanted some, different patches and different things they sent to us, and we added that to one of the jackets we did, and we also did that with the tote.
Beautiful,
so we
beautiful.
Love to do custom work.
Great. Also, your women's jewelry. Tell us a little bit about those pieces. They're very, very pretty.
They're for pet and adult, and now of course
so
children.
You can get a matching set.
You can do the leash. You can do the leash attachment for the carrier, a bracelet, a necklace, a pet necklace, and now we're offering them for children as well.
Ooh,
for
fun.
the Swarovski pearls, and so you can do the whole set.
Very fun.
I work with a local designer out of Oklahoma, and her name is Debbie Hopper, and she is actually the owner of two of our models, Paisley and Ari. And she developed that line of Swarovski, and the two of us worked together and created the collection that we have, and she actually manufactures that for us.
Beautiful. Really, really cool. Let's now, and again, listeners, you can see pictures of this on the Bark and Swagger page of the Pet Life Radio site, and we'll tell you where you can go and buy all of this before we sign off today. Infant apparel. So beautiful. First of all, who's Haley? You've named a lot of infant pieces after Haley.
Cora. Cora is one of our models. Cora Rose, that's actually Debbie Hopper's granddaughter. She is.
Okay.
She's our first model to do the infant wear.
Beautiful. And what inspired you for the infant apparel? Why did you go into it? And where do you go for inspiration for it?
I've always loved doing infant wear.
Okay.
I always. And, with the blankets and bedding, that was a natural, between the pets and adults. I had a lot of clientele that would order, when they ordered a pet blanket for their pet, they would order one for themselves, and then they would ask if I could make one for their either child or grandchild. And with a lot of my friends now having grandchildren, that started about 2 years ago, they started asking me, I would love to have this outfit for an infant and this blanket for an infant. Can you do something? So I put together a small collection that we just launched, and it went gangbusters. Everybody loves it. So I'm also had several of my pet clients ask to design things from my infant collection. So I've incorporated the fabrics together. We've done some little girls with their pets in matching tutus and tutu dresses.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, really, really cute. So it seemed like a natural to segue into the infants.
Absolutely. I mean, we can basically get just about everything from you, Yvette. Stuff for us, stuff for the pets, stuff for the children or grandchildren. It's a one-stop shop of beautiful things. Very convenient.
Thank you.
Before we end, because we do have to wrap up shortly, Paris Hilton just got a new little baby. He is a micro teacup Pomeranian named Mr. Amazing. He's a little white ball of fluff if you haven't seen him.
He's adorable.
I know you've seen him, but for listeners that haven't, he is absolutely precious, and he's teeny, teeny, tiny. He weighs 10 ounces. But he is going off to his new Hollywood home in Yvette Ruta couture and design. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen?
We do have a celebrity clientele. I've been designing for several celebrities and their pets for several years now, and I respect their privacy. We usually don't talk about it unless they post something or they give us an okay, or somebody tells us, yes, that, you can go ahead and advertise this, or we work out an agreement with them. And from the time Paris ordered the puppy, she had wanted blankets and couture and several other things. So we designed couture, a little jacket. I did a blanket, and she's now looking at our furniture collection.
Fantastic.
So,
that blanket is that beautiful blue, right? That beautiful, beautiful turquoise blue blanket, yeah?
Yes, and then she also had a lavender and white blanket, and then she has a faux mink and rabbit blanket as well.
Very, very cool. Well, I am so sorry to say we're out of time. I've had so much fun talking with you, Yvette. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to see more of Yvette Ruta designs or purchase, you can visit her at Yvette Ruta, that's RUTA.com, and see all the beautiful things that she does. Thank you all for listening, and thanks to our producer, Mark Winter, who makes us sound so good. My passion is fashion, so tune in next time to discover the designers, styles, and home decor I love. And don't forget to visit me at barkandswagger.com, where you'll find great fashion stories and more. So until next time, when fierce fashion calls, bark and swagger.
Let's talk pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.